Okay.
Hello, I'm Karen Baker, and I came into Dr. Young's office in May of 2008. I was pretty miserable. I had some problems with my back. I was in a lot of pain. I was also in emotional pain and pretty depressed. And I came in thinking I needed an adjustment, that I'm all out of alignment, and came in, filled a bunch of paperwork out, and the paperwork asked a question, um, are you ticklish? And I remember thinking, that is like the weirdest question I've ever been asked. And it indicated allergies, and I have a ton of allergies. And so we started talking about food. And of course, I ate all the things that I had cravings for, and that can be allergies. And I didn't realize all of that until we started sitting down and talking about those things. And we started talking about the different foods, how they affect your mood. We talked about one study in particular about kids with autism. And I've told this to so many people that a subset of those kids with autism through diet actually had no symptoms of autism anymore. And I was so shocked by that. I'm a therapist and I work with kids with autism. I work with people with schizophrenia and everything in between. And that just made me sit back and think about, you know, my depression, how unhappy I was in my life, my inability to communicate, and what I was putting in my mouth. And I wasn't making good choices at all. And so Dr. Young and I sat down and we started talking about food. Kind of gave me a different perspective on, fats, on flour, on, dairy products. I did his 1 week test on going without milk for a week and how that affected my digestive system. My whole family did that. I don't eat dairy at all now. Over the course of about 4 or 5 weeks, I lost 15 pounds. I did that actually in the first 8 weeks or so of leaving this office. So I did that the summer of 2008. And then slowly I would replace, so I'd eliminate one thing and I would replace it with another. And using that program, it just impacted my life so much. I became less depressed. I was able to be around my family more. My weight started coming off, so I was happier. I had more energy. I was able to make other choices, like including more fruits and vegetables. We got a little more creative about what we were eating. We would go to the grocery store as a family, and my son never saw a eggplant. He's like, well, what can you do with this? He started cooking, which I never thought would happen. He's a teenager.
Oh my God.
And then we started getting creative on the barbecue, and I didn't realize you could do fruits and vegetables on the barbecue. You can take the husk of corn and wrap it around other vegetables and make, oh my gosh, there's some of the best stuff you can make. Then I started eliminating other things like mayonnaise, dressings. Now I can't even stand mayonnaise. Oh my gosh, the sandwich I got today was made wrong and I can't even eat my sandwich. I mean, it's impacted me in so many different ways.
Karen, how tall are you?
5'9 3/4", almost 5'10".
And what did you weigh when you first came to see me?
186
Uh-huh.
pounds.
And your current weight is?
About 125.
Wow.
Yeah. And
And today is?
today is August
August?
5th,
Yeah.
2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
So oh no, I'm
About
sorry,
a
a little
year.
more than a year.
Yeah, but I've been at this weight. I've been at this weight since about December. So really only took me about 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah, about 7 months.
Any other specific you mentioned that your depression was relieved markedly. Your weight obviously has moved into an enormously healthy range. I mean, it's so obvious.
Right.
Any other specific things that you're aware of in terms of your health that feel different to you?
Well, I'm able to exercise. I can keep up with my kids. I have a dog who plays frisbee. She's a border collie, and
And prior to coming in to see me, what
oh,
was the situation?
I couldn't do anything.
Because of?
Well, I was so heavy and
Uh-huh.
tired, and
Uh-huh. So you have more energy
I
now.
just have so much energy now.
Wow.
Actually, I can out frisbee my dog, where
Wow.
she'll go in the shade and sit down and get a drink and wait, and then I'm like, okay, come on back over.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, and
so we can do quite a bit now.
and lest I confuse our audience with me saying wow, it's not because I'm so surprised, like how could this happen? It's simply that year after year, after 26 years of doing this, it never ceases to be an incredible pleasure.
Right.
So that's
Right.
beautiful. Any other specific things?
Well, I went to the mountains in Flagstaff, and I've never been able to climb the Rangers Tower. And the weekend before last, I climbed the Rangers Tower and got to see the entire um, top of the forest for miles and miles and miles. And
So
I've just never been able to make it to
wow.
the top, and so I
Wow.
made it to the top.
So
So,
your life
yeah.
is pretty
It's
different.
different,
Yeah.
very different, yeah.
What would you recommend to people when you think back now to what you didn't understand and how that had so negatively influenced your life? And I assume you've probably been to a couple other doctors prior to coming here and seeing
Oh,
me.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Pills, I was given pills. Here,
yeah,
take this and you'll feel better.
yeah.
Take these. I mean, I was on medication for depression. I'm on like one thing now instead of the 7 I was on before. And
7 medications for,
depression.
and you're on one now.
One now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So again, any out of all of that experience, any what would you say to people who themselves are stuck,
Well,
with ill health and maybe on drugs or being offered lots of drugs and just not seeing a way out? What would you tell these people?
well, I tell people to pick one thing. Just pick one thing to eliminate. It doesn't have to
A
be
food.
a food. Just pick
Uh-huh.
one thing. It doesn't have to be a food group. Just pick one thing. I have a friend who cut out butter, and she made an agreement with herself that she would only have butter on her toast on Sunday mornings. Well, she got to the point after about a month where she couldn't stand the smell of butter, and she lost about 3 pounds in a month, and she thought, okay, well, maybe there's something to this. Well, we had lunch together for, I don't know, about 7 months, and she lost 20 pounds. And she started with butter, then she eliminated sour cream, then she eliminated some dressings, and she just slowly picked it away a couple things. She picked like 7 things total, added a little bit of fruit, and she ended up losing 20 pounds, and she kept saying, well, I'm 60, there's no way I could lose that weight like that. And she did. So,
And so
just one thing. Just
that's
pick one thing, and that's how you start. You just pick one thing to work on, and you start feeling better. I picked milk first and stopped having digestive problems.
That's beautiful. And so, for clarity here, you are saying that by beginning to pay attention to and remove foods that you didn't realize were offending you and harming you, that your weight and your depression and these